Hello, everyone. I'm Karissa from Shining Light on Minnesota. We have a special guest here with us today, Tricia Barone from Rowland Mountain. Welcome, Tricia.
Hi.
Hi. So let's start off by telling a lot of our viewers who are not familiar with a little bit about Rowland Mountain and how you got into the recruiting and all of that.
Okay. So Rowland Mountain is an executive search firm with a focus on supporting the hiring needs of building product manufacturing and distribution organizations. We're in our 37th year in business. I've spent 26 years of that 37 here at Rowland Mountain. And what we find has been a common theme for us has been industrial manufacturing. So we've been led into building products by demand and by relationships that we have, but we do from time to time find ourselves filling roles in other related industries. So we're doing a project right now for a company in the packaging industry. So we are focused on North America. So our placements are all over domestic US, a little bit in Canada. And always sales and marketing focused. So there's really, three levels of people that we place. Individual contributors. So in sales, that's going to be, your field-based salespeople, usually with, 3 to 10 years of experience kind of people. On the marketing side, they would be brands people or product marketing, product development, that kind of thing. The next level is leadership. So anybody that's leading individual contributors. And then the executive category, which is leader of leaders. So we placed 2 CEOs last year. First time we've been in the C-suite like that. And
amazing.
That's where we tend to are gravitating more towards the executive category, probably because I'm aging and so is my
I couldn't tell.
And so is my network.
Right. Seems like our kids get older and we just kind of stay the same, right?
That's right. I don't age a bit.
Right. So how do people in the C-suite and the executives and team members find you? How do they go about and search you out?
So, well, obviously we have a website, rowlandmountain.com or rmasales.com will get you there. Most of the people that we work with come from a relationship that we've had, someone that we've worked with as a candidate that's become a client or someone that gets referred by another client. So most people find us through some sort of relationship, usually. Now, on the candidate side, we go find people. People don't find us. When our clients give us a search, we go out and specifically look for candidates that meet, functionally have, the kind of background. They're in an industry that our client is looking to hire from in a specific location, that kind of thing.
What areas do you cover? You cover nationwide. You said it all over the United States and Canada, everything like that. How do you know, or what's the easiest way for you to find candidates? How can candidates be found?
So I have an amazing research team spearheaded by somebody who's worked for me, I think it'll be 16 years in April. And she is an amazing investigator.
Okay.
And she uses all the usual tools and she tracks down. So when a client gives us a search, we immediately go to our existing network and say, okay, who do we know, right?
Right.
But then who do we need to know? And that's where she comes into play. We'll partner with our client organization to develop a list of companies that we want to go after. And in those companies, who are the people is what our research team figures out. And they find email addresses, mobile numbers, social media profiles, and they do, pretty extensive research so that we can get in touch with them. And then we start reaching out to them.
Wonderful.
And that's what our team of recruiters does is they go out and specifically target specific people and specific companies for our client opportunities.
What about like the younger generation when they're growing up? How do you get them interested in wanting to be or do recruitment, things like that? Do you have different processes or things that you guys do to keep them interested?
So you mean recruit for our clients or to recruit for Rowland Mountain?
Either way, like recruit for Rowland Mountain for people that want to get into the recruiting fields.
So Our job, it's really interesting because recruiting is a sales job.
Yeah, right.
Especially in what we do. So we partner really well with talent acquisition people because what we do is very, very different. Typically, talent acquisition people are vetting through people that are coming to that company because of a posting or an employee referral. And we augment those efforts through an outbound effort, right?
Okay,
So it's very much a sales job. So working for Rowland Mountain is a sales job, and it's an inside sales job. So Rowland Mountain had for many years, we had a physical office in Atlanta, 22 recruiters in that office, commuting to the office, wearing suits every day, things that you don't hear about anymore.
No.
But in 2017, our company evolved and we became a remote company. And now our employees are all over the country.
Awesome.
You know, being an Atlanta-based firm for many, many years, we've got people in Atlanta. I happen to live outside of New Orleans, so we've got people here. Alex, who you spoke to, is in Tampa. We've got people in Houston. So we're all spread out throughout the country, and it's really opened up opportunity for us to attract people in other parts. And I think the fact that we're remote really is attractive to the incoming generation, although we're seeing a trend more towards wanting and needing that connection. So
getting back to the office a little bit more too.
Getting back to the office, our team is, I mean, we are communicating all day long. So, you know, no lack of opportunity to interact with each other.
Right.
And we find too, you know, our client organizations are very hybrid, you know, most of the roles we work are remote or hybrid in some way. That I cannot think of a role we filled in 5 years that's fully in the office. I mean, and because we place salespeople and marketing people, they're out in the field, they're meeting with clients, they're meeting with prospects. So they're not in the office. They're out in the field.
How did you guys, so that's when like 2017, you started to pivot and change, like when you went through COVID, how much did your job change and how much did you acquire or grow or vice versa, slow down a little?
So we sped up during COVID. And the beautiful thing about COVID for us was we were already prepared. You know, we had a soft phone system fully working. We already knew the work remote. It was a business disruption, probably, you know, when was lockdown? Like March, I think, you know, there was probably a 30-day period where everyone was like, okay, what's going to happen here? And then once, you know, again, everybody had dialed in, okay, you know, our business could be impacted. So sales and marketing people became more and more important. So we were very busy during that time.
Wonderful. So when you guys have grown and changed and evolved a little bit more, what are some top qualities that you look for in candidates when you look for people? I know headhunters come in and say, hey, I want this, and this from this person. As people in the outside world are looking for jobs, what would be some great attributes that they could have?
So every client's requisition is different, right? So every role is different and requires a different skill set. Every company culture is different. And so what works in one may not work in another. And I think, you know, it's really hard to answer that question in general terms because not every search we do is unique.
Correct.
And every marketplace is unique. Sometimes, you know,
every city is different in itself too.
It is. Yes. So, you know, we're doing some searches right now on the West Coast, right? So always a big demand for talent on the West Coast. And, you know, it's always been a challenging recruiting market. Takes longer to fill searches there than it may in other parts of the country. But
you know,
it's really hard to say. Now, our founder, Russ Mountain, wrote an article about rainmakers. It's on our website. It's What is a Rainmaker? And I think that's pretty consistent, even though that was probably written in the probably early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. I think it's very applicable today. As a matter of fact, that article was featured in a C-suite magazine. I'm trying to remember the name of it, the Atlanta Business Chronicle at the time. But very, very relevant to today and what companies look for, you know, so they look for a track record of success, right? So someone who has a history of making good decisions and being successful. They look for one of the changing dynamics has been career stability. So, right, it used to be that we would say somebody who's been in a job, no more than 3 jobs in 10 years.
Yeah.
To demonstrate stability. We're seeing that bend a little bit, maybe 4 jobs in 10 years, it depends. But just a track record of success, a track record of making good decisions, a track record of, and we go back, when we interview, we go back all the way to college education. We want to know about the candidate's college experience, even if they have 30 years into their career. Sure. Because, people who were college athletes, for example, are very attractive to companies. They're very disciplined. People who work through college and help pay for their own education are very attractive to hiring authorities. So we go all the way back and we look for patterns and life decisions and, do they have a proven track record? So it's easy to look online and use the various and sundry tools. LinkedIn is a big tool in our industry, right? And see if someone has been in the right job, in the right industry. That's just the starting point. What does their track record look like and how have they done what they've done? So we employ a behavioral based interview that is really about, Karissa, how did you do this? What was your method? What was your thought process? What was the outcome of that?
Well, and the personality traits too. I think that's something that's huge in the industry.
Traits. Yep. Yes. We talk about traits and attributes every single day. And the client that I mentioned earlier that we're working with in packaging, that's a big part of what we look for them are the traits and attributes of the individual. So, but I think that article that Russ wrote is so good because it's still true today. And I still share it with clients and prospects alike. So,
amazing. We'll have to look that up for sure.
Yeah, it's worth it for sure.
So I've noticed that you guys have, and you do a scholarship for the younger generations. Tell our viewers a little bit about your scholarship and how they can get involved.
Yes, we are so proud of. Last year was the inaugural year for a scholarship in Russ's memory. He passed away in 2014, and a team of former Rowland Mountain people who began their careers at Rowland Mountain are now in talent acquisition jobs all over the country. We're very proud of that. We have, if you go and look at people that have worked for Rowland Mountain now, but also in the past and where they are today, we're just so proud of the legacy that he left. And a team of those people came together and created a scholarship for juniors and seniors in college who are pursuing talent acquisition or recruiting in some form or fashion. And last year we had one single recipient. She got $10,000 scholarship.
Nice.
And then she interned for us. So she received the scholarship in the spring and she interned at Rowland Mountain from all the spring through, she just finished in December. So we actually just closed, although there's a link to that scholarship on our LinkedIn postings, on our webpage, where people could go to either donate towards the scholarship, which we're always looking for donors. We like giving generous scholarships. And then there's also a place where people can go to apply for the scholarship. I think that link is probably still up and running, although technically we closed the application process on Friday, but to my knowledge, it's still up and running. So if there's anyone in there that wants to apply, and they could apply for next year too.
Nice.
We've had some very generous donors and we're very excited about really making a difference for a student who wants to pursue a career in what we do.
Yeah. How much have you seen? Oh, wonderful. How much have you seen AI change in the industry? Do you guys use that at all to help find clients and everything like that? Or do you kind of shy away from it a little bit?
So I don't shy away from it. Right. I don't think it's developed enough to really change what we are doing. It's really neat, though, to see, like, I'm on Teams calls all the time with clients, and then I'll get an email immediately following with the notes made by AI. And I'm like, I love this. It's a really neat tool. So it is changing our business. And I think it will change the way we do things. I don't know how yet and exactly how that will get integrated into the day-to-day of what we do, but I do think it will absolutely have an impact on what we do and hopefully improve it. I'm going to be probably a late adapter because I believe very strongly in that person-to-person interaction, right?
Absolutely. I do the same.
I don't want to interact with AI. I don't want to get AI calls.
Right.
I'm not making those calls. We don't even use voicemail drops. Everything we do is authentic and
Nice.
it's our voices. It's us, but I do think that there'll be a home for it. Dating myself, but prior to coming to Rowland Mountain, I spent 9 years in the temp staffing industry and, we faxed resumes.
Right.
I used to courier packs of resumes to my client offices, right? It's a very different environment. And I think just like the internet has really had an impact on our business and changed our business, I think AI will too. I'm just not exactly sure how that's going to come into play into our day to day.
Yeah. You think about like the AI resume writing and things like that too, and how clients can use it to help showcase some of their items, but at the same time, it might not be totally accurate either. It's hard to say.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I get more negative feedback about AI resumes than positive feedback about AI resumes. I can spot one a mile away. The authentic, genuinely generated resume that speaks to what a candidate has done and what they have accomplished in their career is very different than an AI generated one. That's why I say I'm going to be a late adapter, probably just because I want to really understand, how I can use it effectively and still do a great job for my clients.
Yeah, I think having a conversation with someone, you really get to know them on a personal basis. Then you get like an email follow-up and it's 30 sentences that could all be summarized into like one or two. And it's like, all right, this is easy. Let's shorten it a little. Yeah.
Well, and in what we do, one's career is primary. It's a big part of their life, right?
Absolutely.
So, what is it? God, family, job, right? These are the top three things that people really work or think about in their lives. And what we do changes the lives of the companies we represent, the candidates that we place, their families. So, and one great candidate placed in a company can be a game changer, can really move the needle for a company. We don't take that responsibility lightly. And I just think it's hard to imagine that AI will change that personal connection. By the time we place the candidate, we know everything about them, and at the very end, what they're eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our clients, I get to know them very intimately, and we understand their business processes. We understand how they operate, what they like, what they don't like. I can't see AI replacing that. I can see it enhancing that, but I don't know how exactly.
And that's more of a growth thing too. You can't lose the face-to-face, the communication, the team playing skills that a lot of times AI wants you to. You have to be able to adapt, and that's the younger generation. You work smarter and harder, but at the same time, you have to have that communication skill for sure.
That's right.
So what do you see? What motivates you and what keeps you going and growing in the industry?
Oh my gosh, I love what I do. I've done it for a very long time.
Yeah.
I've never had the same day twice. I get to meet so many great and interesting people. I love learning about my clients and their businesses and what makes them work. And, I get intimately involved in what their processes are, how they sell, how they market, how they position, how they brand themselves. And then really being able to become a part of their success by placing great people. And that is my driver. Of course, I have a family and, my family is a big driver for me because I can earn a great income and enjoy a wonderful life because of what I do. But I'm really grateful to have found something. My background's very unorthodox, and I did not find recruiting; it found me. And I'm so grateful because I love what I do. I've done it for a very long time, and I still find joy every single day in what I do. And it's been a great fit for me.
I can really hear it in your voice. It's exciting to have somebody be so into what they're doing, wanting to see the growth, but also reaping the benefits. Like, this is showing my kids and my family and everybody else, you can do it too, and you can get out there and make a difference.
One of my favorite things to do is I call people that I placed on their work anniversary. So I was just looking on my list today. Well, I'm late. His anniversary was February 1st, but I get to call someone who's celebrating their 17-year work anniversary. Amazing. In a company where I placed him. Yeah. And so I now, when I placed him, he was newly married with a baby on the way. Yep. And so that baby's probably graduating from high school. Yeah. But you do kind of really get, it's so gratifying, that is, and being a part of their lives and then knowing what an impact he's made on that company. He came in as an individual contributor and today is driving a fairly large team. And that's very rewarding for me. Absolutely.
How do you deal, or what happens when the job doesn't work out for the employer and or the employee coming in?
It's a bummer, right? Like we never want that to happen, and it does. Right. We don't want that to happen. Sometimes the candidate isn't able to perform in the role, or maybe it's not a cultural fit. So. Yeah. I never like that because typically most of the candidates we place are currently employed. So they've left a job to join this job. And I'm very disappointed for my client who's paid us a fee. So we do a lot to try to participate in the onboarding process. So another one of those calls I get to make the 5th tomorrow. I'm going to call someone I placed 6 months ago. How are things going? So if there is anything that's not good, I call after 2 weeks. I call after, 2 weeks, 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, and a year. And I'm, keeping my finger on the pulse of, okay, for the candidate, how are things going for you? Is this everything you anticipated? Same with the client. How are things going where this candidate is concerned? So if there is something, if I'm hearing something from the candidate that could help my client or maybe course correct, I want to participate in that. And sometimes it's not a fit. And we learn that, we give our clients a 1-year guarantee. So they love that because if for some reason someone doesn't work out, there's an opportunity for us to make a shift. So, knock on wood, that doesn't happen real often, but it does happen from time to time. And we do our best to try to help navigate that for both the candidate and the client.
Wonderful. I mean, you notice even just within a 2-hour drive of where we're located going south or north, the pace of the city in itself, putting someone in it's a little bit higher, faster paced in that environment, not knowing what to expect can be challenging, I'm sure, too. So when you are placing, obviously doing all your background work and everything like that, just to make sure they're a right fit is very important.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a big part of the cultural shift. So, in the space we play, industrial manufacturing, some of our clients, their corporate offices are in large cities. So, New York, Atlanta, Dallas, LA, Chicago, but yet their facilities are usually in smaller markets, right?
Yeah.
So, we get to see, there's definitely differences, the pace at which they work, what's important to them, their work styles can be different. So, yeah.
Well, and I think it can be too on the other side, obviously people, their social medias, their everything that they have aren't a real extent of who they actually are too. So having you build that relationship with them, following up with them the way that you do, everything like that to make sure that both the client and the customer are happy on both ends really makes a difference, and following through too to see and hear and feel the difference for sure.
Yes, for sure.
What do you see in the future for Rowland Mountain and everything? Do you see growth expanding out further, or what do you want it to be like?
I gave up my glass ball a long time ago.
Right.
My vision for Rowland Mountain is to have a meaningful place to work with people that love what they do and making an impact on the lives of the people that we work with, our candidates and our client organizations, right? Yeah. And that always has been and will continue to be consistent. That was Russ's vision and now my vision. And, and whatever that looks like, right? So if that looks like an empire and we have hundreds of recruiters, I'm all for it. Yep. If that looks like the boutique search firm we are today, That's great too.
That's fine. Yep.
I'm really kind of, that sounds as if I like vision. I don't, because my vision is just different. It's not about size. It's about, enjoying what we do and doing it with great people and helping others and growing businesses for our clients. So whether that's big or small, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows where the world will take us, right?
That's right.
How can people find you, and where can you be found if people are looking for you and say, hey, I've got this great company, we want to grow, we're looking for these clients, where can they find you at?
So they can find us on our website, rowlandmountain.com or rmasales.com, and all of our contact information is there. My email address is tmountain@rowlandmountain.com. And you can reach me there. So any of those ways, our phone number's on the website. You can call any of our associates who live and breathe for the phone to ring. So
right.
Any of us.
And so when people are looking too, if they see your number pop up, answer the call, find out what it's about, get excited.
That's right.
We appreciate having you on today, and we really look forward to seeing what happens in the future and the growth with Rowland, and also just the day-to-days. We all know and we're familiar with the name, so we continue to hope to see it.
Pleasure meeting you, Karissa.
Yes,
Thank you for inviting me to be here today. It was a pleasure.
Yes, you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.